Hallo ihr Lieben und herzlich willkommen zu Facebook Marketing leicht gemacht. Heute eine kleine Premiere, denn ich werde gleich die Sprache wechseln und zwar werden wir heute ein Interview auf Englisch machen. Das ist mein erster englischer Podcast und ich freue mich sehr, heute Sigrun begrüßen zu dürfen. Sigrun ist nämlich mein Coach und Sigrun hat mich dahin gebracht, wo ich heute bin. Und ich erzähle mal ganz kurz aus ihrer Geschichte, weil es total spannend ist. Sie ist aus Island und das hat mich sowieso total angezogen, gleich am Anfang. Und ist derzeit in der Schweiz, lebt in der Schweiz. Ich fahre auch ziemlich oft hin. Ich habe das Gefühl, ich war noch nie so oft in der Schweiz. Und ich freue mich sehr, dass sie mich unterstützt. Ich bin in ihrem Mastermind-Programm und möchte ganz gerne heute mit ihr darüber sprechen, wie man ein erfolgreiches Business aufbaut. Wir nennen heute die Podcast-Folge The Foundation of a Successful Online Business. And Sigrun, I'm so happy you're here. I'm really excited to talk about your 7 stages that you have developed and that we are working with inside of Sommar, inside of your big group program. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Katrin. It's a true pleasure.
Yes, very exciting. We were thinking about talking about your 7 stages because it is it's a very good structure to follow if you are just starting out or even if you've already been in business a bit longer, but just to get an idea of what to do next, right? So you have kind of a checklist for doing this. Where did you find this information? Did it just come to you? I mean, you are in business for about 3 years now, and you're a very great online business coach. But how did you develop these 7 stages?
Well, it did not come to me right from the start. I started to work with clients in 2014, and I was trying, like everybody else, when we go into online business, I wanted to have an online course. And I launched my first online course. That was actually successful because I did it the way I will tell you afterwards how to do it. But the second one, that I thought I would be my signature course, and one person bought. Mm-hmm. And luckily, I was working with a business coach for 6 weeks, and she helped me kind of like, okay, let's just twist this around. Let's talk to the people who have been a part of your launch or on your list. I had 1,500 people on my list before I even talked to a business coach.
Your email list, right?
My email list. And too many people, including myself, jump too far ahead. We are trying to just put a product out there, our online course program, or even a group program or a mastermind group. And we haven't even done the research. We haven't even checked if people wanted what we are offering. We haven't even tested it with one person before we want to sell it to 100. And this kind of, something started to brew in my head through my own experience. So after this, what we look at now, yes, probably unsuccessful launch when you only sell one spot in your online program. But what actually happened is that I spoke to 90 people in 3 weeks, and I sold coaching for $27,000.
Wow.
And that was my first launch. So my first launch was a multiple 5-figure launch, but people didn't want the program that I was trying to sell them. They wanted something else. And they told me because I finally asked them what they wanted. In this first year of business, 2014, I had this experience, and I didn't tell many people about it. I was a little bit embarrassed. I'm a business coach, right. My launch, no one person buys a course, but I was very happy, of course, that I made all this money and everybody wanted to work with me, just with something else, not what I was offering them. And then I continued to work with clients 2015, 2016, and in 2017, early on, I realized I wanted to put together a program based on all my knowledge. I had been doing weekly webinars for a very long time. I'd done over 100 webinars, And through my membership program, I realized that people needed a step-by-step structure. It is, webinars are great. It's a great way to sit down for an hour and learn something new, but you often cannot connect the dots between different webinars, and there's no path, and there's no worksheet, there's no homework. It's just like there's a one-off hour and you walk away. And I felt I had been creating all this content, but still sometimes people will come to me and say, I'm a bit lost, or there's so much content that I don't know what to do. And I realized on one hand, people are consuming too much content and then not taking action. And on the other hand, there's not such a good system on understanding what to do. Yes, there's this checklists of, you need a freebie, you need a landing page and all these things, but it's not, how do I build a business? Yeah. And at the same time, I got increasingly frustrated to see all these people jump from having no clients to trying to launch an online course. And I was trying to explain to them that they were doing the mistake that I did in 2014. Mm-hmm. And I said, I have done it. I don't want you to do it. But that was not helpful enough. I needed to show them some framework, some structure. And I was like, okay, how instead of just saying, excuse me, instead of just telling someone you're doing it wrong, mm-hmm. you got to provide them with an answer, like a solution. You have to show them there is another way. So it came to me more in like, I have to explain this. I have to explain this. And now I'm creating Samba, and I was creating the first module for Samba. And I sat down and I said, how do I explain to these new people that was joined this 12-month program, how do I explain to them the way to go? And then it was there. The pyramid, the 7 stages came to me out of, you could say there's partly frustration, how to explain, how to not to do it. And just my own experience in working with clients, it came all together. So I don't know if anyone is thinking of creating a framework. I think that's often how it happens. It does not come to you on day one where you think about, I need a framework. It comes to you through lots of iterations in your head, but one day it's there. And I created the 7 stages. Actually, I called them the Samba stages because it was the first module. And I released the first module to the people who had signed up for my inaugural class, so to speak. These were the people who were going to test and create the program with me. And they knew that mm-hmm. they paid less, they paid half price. And I released the first module and everything went crazy in the group, in the Facebook group. They were like, where have you been hiding this? Why haven't you told me this before? And it was almost like they were criticizing me for withholding them information. I'm like, I just created this. They said, but I needed this 2 years ago. I've been wasting my time. And I was like, whoa. So my first idea was just to have this as the module in Samba. I was not mm-hmm. planning to talk about this outside the program. But the reaction of the participants, I was like, okay, I cannot withhold this information. I have to tell everyone about it. Even if they don't buy my programs, it doesn't matter. Everybody needs to know about the 7 stages because it seems to be a very good explanation of the path you take to build a successful online business.
It doesn't seem to be, it is, for sure. I think, and that's the thing, it's not just based on your experience, it's based on your client's experience as well, because you've been following a lot of clients for a long time to see what they did to make them successful, right? So you've created this with all your knowledge. And if I look at the stages now, this is the way I went without knowing the stages. So yeah. That's the thing. I think the 7 stages help you because I went those ways, but it took me years to get there, right? So I think just knowing what to do next really helps to shorten the period to actually become successful.
It does. And even if I kind of skipped a stage, I always go back, and ultimately you've gone through all the stages before you come to stage 6 or 7. We're going to add a seventh stage to it.
Right. Let's go there. Yes, perfect. So let's start at the bottom. If we look at stage 0, because you're starting with stage 0, what does that mean? Like when you're starting out?
Yeah, I decided to call the first stage 0 because it means zero revenue. So you cannot forget that this stage 0. So when people tell me, oh, I'm in stage 0, I'm like, okay, so you're not earning money yet. But it could be that you have a website. It could be that you have, are working with potential clients, like they're maybe for free. But this stage is actually important. When I look back, actually probably end of 2013, I did my first tests. I would reach out to fellow entrepreneurs that I knew were also building their online business, and I would ask them to test with me your best year yet. It was an idea of mine how to teach business planning to entrepreneurs. And a year later, this was a program. I did a lot of testing in the beginning that I didn't immediately launch as programs, but it all came back to me. It's so interesting that nothing that you do, even if you feel you might be wasting your time, but you are not. This research stage or this testing stage where you're not earning money yet, it will come back to you later on as a benefit. And everything I did in my first months has come back as a product in some shape or form. So don't minimize the importance of this step. What you can do to fast track it is as soon as you have an idea for a product or for as soon as you have a business idea, test it. Find 3 clients that are willing to test this with you. And since we're in stage 0, they're probably not paying you, and that's fine. You just need their commitment, and do it fast. Don't make it into a 12-week program or 6 months or 12 months, because you are reiterating. If you've heard about the method Scrum, it's very popular in programming. They instead of writing down the requirements of a new program and then everybody agrees to the requirements and it takes 3 months to write what the program should look like, and then you're programming for 9 months, and then after 12 months the person that's supposed to use the program says, no, that's not what I wanted. So that's exactly why programmers now use Scrum, where they kind of decide a few things, program it, 4 weeks later there's actually something working, and the person using the program can say, oh, yes, I like this, let's move on, or change this and that.
Smaller steps and smaller solutions, and you find a way together with the client, even if it's for free or maybe a small fee. Maybe it doesn't have to be for free completely.
No, you can charge a little bit, especially as soon as you have a little bit of a brand awareness. If you've been doing business maybe for a while, you've built a recognition, even if it's just through free content. Don't be afraid to charge a little bit to get a bigger commitment from your test clients. But if you're totally unknown, I did a lot of free coaching training in the beginning, and I don't regret any of it. I think it was important. But the key is to get fast feedback.
Yes. And testimonials as well from your clients, I guess.
Yeah. The feedback and testimonials is for you to understand, do you like doing this? Because, it's not just about the clients getting success. Is it actually what you thought it would be like? Do you like doing it? Do you want to do it again? Do you want to be known for this? Do you want to do it for a whole year? Or what is the, results from this? So stage 0 is for fast feedback. I stayed in there for a while. And I think another way to get faster through stage 0 is to be a part of a program, whether it's Zumba or a mastermind or whoever you surround yourself with. The danger of doing this alone is that you question yourself, you doubt yourself. And even if you get great feedback from your test clients, you will kind of wonder, not really sure, let me test it again. Instead, if you are surrounded by like-minded people inside a program or a mastermind group, they will see the truth, and they will encourage you to continue and eventually start to charge properly for what you are offering. But stage 0 is important stage. I just want to encourage people to reiterate fast, so
Sure.
they really get a fast answer, so that they know that when they go to stage 0, this is actually what they want to do in their business.
Great. I really like that. And then the next step would be, if we want to go into stage 1, the stage 1 is one-on-one clients, right? So working closer and getting paid for it. So what could be part of that stage? Because it's, as you were saying, it's very important to get a lot of feedback before creating the first online course. So where would the online course be? In which stage do you see that one happening?
Well, the online course doesn't come until stage 3, and that's actually a smaller online course. And stage 4 is your signature online course. So before you go there, I want you to work one-on-one. And we are, of course, here talking about service-based businesses, not necessarily product-based businesses. We're talking about coaching, consulting, training.
Sure.
It can also be, even if you are doing something that is on a lot more, bigger scale, you still need to test with individual clients. Even if you're doing, projects or selling big programs, you have to test. So stage 1 is, it's basically taking what you learned from stage 0 and implementing it on a level where people are paying you, and they're not paying they're not paying half price, they're paying full price. There you can stay there for a while. Some people want to go very fast through the stage, and I say, well, minimum 3 to 5 paying clients before you even consider going to the next stage. So let's say you're one of those that says, I just don't like working one-on-one with people. I really want to move fast. The reason I went into online business is the online courses. And I say, okay, still 3 to 5 clients, paying clients, because I don't want you to make any mistakes. And there's a big difference between doing something for free and asking people to pay money for it. And your true answer to whether people want your program or not is when people pay a full price.
Right.
Because when they don't pay anything, well, we all want to participate in all kinds of challenges and programs for free. But as soon as somebody asks us to pay, we're like, I could do something else with that money. So your true answer, whether the business idea and the program is on the right track, is when these one-on-one clients pay you. And you take them through your process. So if you have something in mind, which you might have, take them through that process one-on-one. Could be 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever it takes. But I do recommend, if you want to be a coach, if you want to be a good coach, this is a stage where you stay in for a little while. I know Amy Porterfield also recommends the same. 12 to 18 months is the time you need to really learn the tricks of the trade, or whatever you want to call it, like to be a good coach. I interviewed Chris Ducker not so long time ago on my podcast, and he told me when he started to really coach people, he first built a business, like the virtual assistant business that he has in the Philippines, where he helped you find a virtual assistant. But then people asked him for coaching, and he said, I was a crappy coach. He said that honestly on the podcast, and I realized, yeah, that's true. When you start to work as a coach, consultant, trainer, and let's say you just haven't done that in your previous job, and even if you've done it in your previous job, you haven't done it in this way before.
Right.
You're probably not the best when you start. And that's okay. I hope you're not charging too high prices in the beginning for that. And still, your clients can be happy, but you realize 2 years later, there were things you could have done better. You could have coached better. You could have, and we are human, we make mistakes.
And I think it's not just about the coaching. Well, what I did the same thing. So for about 2 years, I was only consulting more or less on Facebook, and not, I had no courses whatsoever. But in that time period, I was working on my community. So I was building up my community, because it's much easier to get a one-on-one client than to sell an online course where you kind of need bigger numbers, right, to actually get the kind of money you would get one-on-one. So that's also a big part of it, staying a bit longer in that period, I would say, and then building up a community, getting your expert status out there, and really people start talking about you, and then it's much easier to sell an online course to more than one person.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Basically, it's much easier to build a business in terms of revenue with one-on-one clients than with online courses, because the online course will never have the price tag of what you can charge one-on-one, and you would have to sell a lot of those to make a similar amount.
Exactly.
So working one-on-one for 12 to 18 months, it doesn't mean that you are not earning good money. You can easily have a 6-figure business one-on-one. You just need to learn to kind of price right. And the length of your program will also dictate the price of the program. In the beginning, I do recommend doing it 6 weeks. So these were my first one-on-one clients. I had been offering one-off 1-hour sessions. That's not very sustainable. And I would say if you do that only for a short while, just to kind of test things out. But as soon as you have people working with you a little longer, and move fast to a 6-week package. That's where I think you should start. And I charged $1,500 for my first 6-week package, and now I charge $1,000 an hour. So you see, there's a difference there. And as soon as I was fully booked with 6-week clients, I realized I had to move to a longer program. So I just started to say 12 weeks for $3,000. I didn't even think of, having a different price. And when I was fully booked with that, I started to raise my prices. And so it's important to be fully booked before you consider raising your prices.
Yes.
I know some might be very eager to earn money and thinking about, how can I earn more money? And one way to earn more money is to raise your prices. Yes.
Sure.
But your clients need to value you at that level. So I would be careful going in to raise the prices before you are fully booked. And fully booked for coaching could mean 10 clients, because I realized when I had about 13 clients, and I was giving them attention over email and possibly you have them also maybe on Facebook, they send you a message or something, and suddenly you realize 13 clients is a lot.
Yes.
If you're talking to them, I was talking to people every week for an hour, and then they would possibly email me that on top. And then I do my weekly webinars, and then I do social media, content marketing, all that stuff to kind of build the community, as you said, so that in the future you can launch an online course. And so for me, it was 10 clients. Then I was fully booked.
Great. And then to scale, your stage after that would be stage 2. So what are you doing in that stage just to scale up a little bit?
In stage 2 is a group program. And you can be thinking of launching that as a course later. But I recommend you do a group program first. So I had this idea of a course, Launch with Passion. I wanted to teach people how to launch. I had been launching. I'd been helping my clients launching. And it doesn't matter if it's a book or a website, one-on-one, group coaching, or online course. There are certain things you can do when you're launching, and you tweak them a little bit for the different products. So I thought about Launch with Passion as a course for those who are launching for the first time, or they've had an unsuccessful launch, just like myself in my first year of business, and you're going into your second launch and you're getting stressed because you haven't actually had a successful launch before. So my idea was to run this as a group program and then create the course.
Right.
And I asked my community, don't make that mistake. Don't launch something until you have asked first. I had a free Facebook group, had been running for a year or more. I asked them in the group. I asked how many people were launching in the next 3 to 6 months. So I got a bit of idea how many might be interested. I asked them if they would like a program like that. I asked them for the name. All these wonderful ideas that you can also use as a seeding. So you're preparing for a launch, but you're also checking that there's actual interest. So when I launched the program, actually I was kind of traveling in Iceland on a summer holiday when I got the idea for the program. I wrote the sales page on one evening. I said, okay, kids go to bed. And I told my husband, I got to do this now. I have this idea. And I have a wonderful assistant. So basically, I sent her my copy in the evening. And the next day, the sales page was ready. And then I basically went into my group and told them about it. And I had some fast action, all these launch strategies, fast action bonus for those who were quick, but I did no webinar, nothing, and it was sold out within a few days.
Wow.
And that happens only when you have a community.
There was no content in there though. It's like, how did your group program look like? You had no content. You were just talking to them kind of in webinars and giving them what they wanted at that time.
Well, I decided, because I was thinking of doing an online course, which I never did, by the way. I started to prepare content that I sent them once a week. So you can deliver this in a webinar, and I actually suggest you do. One thing that if I look back now, it was taking me a lot of time just to create those slides and record it separately. I wish I would have just delivered that over a webinar to them. Yeah. It would have been much more effective. And this is what Jeff Walker in his product launch formula book recommends as well. He calls this seed launching, this method. When you basically, you check if people are interested in a program, you create it just with the people, whether it's 4, 6, or 8, the group of people. And it's like a group program. So the content should ideally be delivered over short webinars where the people are live with you and can give you immediately feedback, and you ask your questions right away. So yeah, I did it a little bit the other way around, but I would do it differently if I did it again.
Same here.
We can always learn,
Yes,
we make mistakes, but we want everyone listening, watching, not to make these mistakes.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, so seed launching is you don't prepare any content up front. Of course, you know what you're teaching, but and you have the framework in mind. So week 1, week 2, you know what topics you want to cover. But you actually, I would probably prepare some slides beforehand, but I would just deliver it like a short webinar, not more than 30 minutes. People cannot consume so much. And then the rest of the time, the audience, this group of hopefully 6 people, is just asking you questions and getting, and you're getting feedback on your content.
You see their pain points, right? I think that's most important. You get feedback and you know what they're working on. Yeah. I really like that concept, and that's how I launched my first course as well. Of course, I did that mistake and prepared all the videos up front, about 50 of them. So that wasn't very effective. Let's say it was very time consuming. Let's say it like that, especially because my Facebook topic changes so quickly. That was a big mistake. So I would always do webinars now for a course like that. And I really like that concept. So just moving into the online business world, because I know there's so much about it. We've just gone to stage 2. And I mean, you were already mentioning that stage 3 would be the first small online course. There's more stages to it. We are going to have a webinar about this in January. So whoever is interested in all the stages and wants to know more about all of them. So for example, maybe adding mastermind groups or retreats to their online business. There's a lot more to it. And there's a book, you have quite a few great ideas on how to get into the 6-figure and even much higher online business. 6-figure meaning at least 100,000 for everybody who doesn't know. I know this is really great for the foundation for us. And what I really like everybody to know, you are starting a webinar series just after Christmas. Maybe you want to tell people about that a little bit more?
Yeah, so we talked about one of the key things you need in online business is a freebie.
Yes.
And one of the most popular freebies or free offerings I have put out there is my 12 days of webinars. I came up with this 2 years ago. So this is the third time I run it. People love it because it's a little bit over the downtime of Christmas. So the English meaning or the American meaning, 12 days of Christmas, is actually 25th of December till January 5th. So once a day, you get access to one of my best webinars of the year. So in the previous years, I've, my assistant or my team has gone through my webinars. We've seen which ones are most popular, and we pull them back. Normally, they are only available when you watch live or replay for 24 hours, and then I take them away, and they're only accessible to people who are in my Zumba program as a library, as a resource. And now I take these best ones out and make them available, each one for 24 hours. So you need to be on your toes. Make sure you are that you're ready to watch those that you want to watch. But each one you can watch for 24 hours. And I will be even before recording some brand new ones like Facebook ads, because as you said, Facebook changes so fast.
Yes.
My webinar on Facebook ads was done in January. So I said to my Zumba people, my community, I'm going to record a new one. So they are already very excited. I'm going to record it very shortly for them. And then in 12 days of webinars, you will have access to that as well. So it's on launching, masterminding, sales funnels, Facebook ads, messenger bots. It's a lot of the topics that I am using in my launching and what I'm known for. Mastermind groups is pretty much what I'm known for. Also, Zumba is a mastermind-like program because we have monthly mastermind calls. And sales funnels, a very popular topic. We are going to do a lot of automated sales funnels in 2018, but we have great examples already this year. And so it's all these different topics in online business that we're going to cover in 12 days of webinars.
Perfect. I really like it. And I know that the content is amazing. So for everybody who signs up for free, they get a lot of value. So if you are new in the business, in the online world, or if you are even very advanced already, there's certainly topics in there that are going to help you because you have 12 webinars that have just very great content. So we are going to have a special link for it. If you go to katrinhill.com/12 days, you are going to get right to the sign up of this webinars. And just, I'm very excited to hear about your feedback because I know Sigrun's content is amazing. And if you want to know more about the 7 stages, sign into our webinar. We're going to link it in the description as well. It's going to be in January, and I'm very excited about that too, Sigrun. It's so much fun to talk English once in a while on my podcast. This is a new thing, and I would love to know from the community, everybody listening to this, if you are willing to do this a bit more often. So if you are happy that I interview some others, maybe experts from the United States about, for example, Facebook ads, Americans are a little bit further with technology and Facebook and everything else around online marketing. Just please let me know in the comments, because I would love to see if this is something that could work, or rather you want to have something in German or not. Sigrun, I thank you so much for this content. I think it was very valuable. I know you know how to create a successful online business, and it's so great that you are sharing this with my community.
Thank you for having me. It was a true pleasure.
Thank you so much. And I would say you can find all the show notes. You're going to find all the information that we were talking about in more detail and in text on my website. Look into the show notes and then see you next week. Bye-bye.